My sister's legs gave out. She hit the marble floor so hard her Chanel purse exploded. Lipstick, phone, keys scattering everywhere. 3 days ago, she'd uninvited me from Christmas. Said my 2004 Civic was too embarrassing. She had no idea I was about to reject her $12 million proposal. I'm Emma Clarke, 28, from Denver, and this is the moment everything changed. 3 days earlier, I was stirring instant ramen when my phone rang. It was Mom. Emma, honey, I need to talk to you about Christmas. That tone. The careful voice she used when choosing Camille over me. Camille and Derek are hosting this year, and it will be very upscale, with board members, major investors, and other really important people attending. The steam fogged up my glasses. I wiped them on my shirt. And, sweetheart, Camille thinks it might be better if you sit this one out. With everything going on, the money situation, that car you drive, it might be awkward. My 2004 Honda Civic. 190,000 miles. Check engine, light permanently on. The same car I'd driven to her engagement party, where someone handed me their valet ticket, assuming I worked there. She's concerned about what you'd wear. That black dress you always. The one with the coffee stain, I couldn't get out. Emma, are you there? I'm here. So, you understand? Maybe next year when things are more stable. Through my wall, I could hear my neighbor's TV. Okay, I said quietly. You're not mad, are you? Mom asked. I know, I replied. She hung up. I sat there staring at my phone. My ramen had gone cold. But I realized something. I was done explaining myself to people who never asked. What Camille didn't know was that in 3 days, she'd find out exactly who I really was. When Dad died, I was 14, Camille 16, he left $200,000. Mom gave it all to Camille. Emma's practical. But you, sweetheart, you have so much potential. Camille got everything. I got student loans and a library job at $9.50 an hour. After college, I was at Nordstrom when Camille started dating Derek Hayes. His family owned commercial real estate across 3 states. At her engagement party, I stood by the gift table for 40 minutes. One woman handed me her coat without looking at my face. I wasn't her sister anymore. I was her charity case. Emma, she's still figuring things out. At their wedding, I sat at table 19, near the kitchen doors. Her speech mentioned me once, and my sister Emma is here somewhere. She didn't look in my direction. Derek's money gave her permission to finally say what she'd always thought, that I was beneath her. But 6 months ago, something happened at 2 a.m. that changed everything. I couldn't sleep, scrolling LinkedIn at 2 a.m. Blue screen glow in my dark apartment. I saw this post about a major acquisition. Some tech company buying a struggling retail chain. Everyone's celebrating. And I just knew it wasn't going to work. I'd spent 2 years watching Nordstrom systems fail during mergers. So I wrote a post, breaking down every reason this deal would fail. The incompatible systems, the cultural clash, the hidden debt. My finger hovered over post for 30 seconds. Who was I to say anything? I posted it at 2:47 a.m. My phone woke me up. Constant, frantic buzzing. Is this Emma Clarke? Bloomberg Markets. Can we quote your analysis? Financial Times here. Available for comment. I opened LinkedIn with shaking hands. 43,000 views. Refreshed. 127,000. By the time I made coffee, it was 200,000. CNBC had screenshotted my post. The tech company stock was tanking. My phone rang. Unknown number. Is this Emma Clarke? Richard Chun, partner at Altitude Capital Group. I read your analysis. How would you feel about coming in for an interview? I looked at my peeling paint, the mattress on the floor. When? I asked. Tomorrow. 2 p.m., Richard said. They offered me the job on the spot. Junior analyst. $75,000. I'd been making 28. I sat in my car and cried for 20 minutes, hands shaking so hard I couldn't get the key in the ignition. But I didn't tell anyone, because I'd spent so many years being the failure. I kept my studio. Kept my car. And I worked. 16-hour days. Online courses every night. While Camille posted Instagram stories from Aspen, I was taking Wharton and MIT courses, falling asleep at my desk. My desk was next to Maya Green's, senior analyst who became my anchor. 3 months in, I was working on a healthcare acquisition at 1 a.m. The numbers weren't adding up. Go home, Emma, Maya said. I can't. I'm missing something. I replied. Maya leaned over.
There.
Line 47. They're hiding a liability in the footnotes. 3.2 million in pending litigation buried in 8-point font. Holy shit, I breathed. We caught it. Saved the company $6 million. That same week, I saw Camille's Instagram story. Her and Derek at a charity gala. Designer gown. Diamond earrings. The caption? Blessed beyond measure. I stared at that photo for a long time. I didn't know it yet, but while she was posting that photo, she was forging our mother's signature. The next morning, Richard called me into his office. That healthcare deal. Maya said it was all you, Richard said. We worked together. I started to protest.
Emma.
Take the credit. You just saved us $6 million. You're not faking this, he said firmly. I stood in the bathroom for 10 minutes, trying to believe him. 6 weeks later, another deal. Then another. 8 million. 12. 35. Then 3 weeks ago, Richard called me in. We're promoting you to Director of Acquisitions. Director. At 28. Youngest in company history. $185,000. I drove to an empty parking lot and screamed until my voice gave out. Then reality hit. The board announcement was Monday, December 18th. Derek Hayes was on that board. I told Maya.
Wait.
Your brother-in-law who uninvited you from Christmas, he's on our board. Maya asked, her eyes widening. Yeah, I confirmed. Does he know you work here? She pressed. No. Maya's eyes went wide. This is your moment. But Saturday night, I discover why Derek needed money so badly. Saturday night, I opened my laptop to prep for Monday's meeting. Then I saw it. Derek's name. Hayes Strategic Advisors. Requesting $12 million. My stomach dropped. I opened the file. The numbers looked perfect. Too perfect. I started digging. 20 minutes in, I found the losses. 6 consecutive quarters. $2.3 million gone. Then the construction loans. High risk. Derek had personally guaranteed them using joint marital assets. If these failed, Derek and Camille were personally liable for $4.7 million. I kept clicking. Deeper. Home equity line of credit. $200,000. The address, 4782 Maple Street. Mom's house. The room started spinning. I pulled up the signature page. That wasn't Mom's handwriting. I grabbed my phone. Found last Christmas's photo. Mom's birthday card.
Zoomed in.
The signatures weren't even close. The capital, in Margaret, Mom's was rounded, this one sharp. I sat there in the dark, staring at my sister's forgery. They weren't just broke. They were desperate enough to steal from our mother. And suddenly, the uninvited made perfect sense. They didn't want me there, because I was poor. They wanted me gone because they were. It was Sunday night, 10:47 p.m. The check engine light stopped flashing and stayed solid. Then the engine died. I was stranded on Highway 25 in freezing rain. The biggest meeting of my life was in 9 hours. I hit the steering wheel.
Once. Twice.
What if Camille was right? What if I was still just that girl who got handed a coat at her own sister's engagement party? What if this suit, this job, this promotion, it was all just expensive camouflage? What if tomorrow everyone saw what she had always seen, a person pretending to belong?
My phone rang.
It was Maya. My car died. I'm on 25. I can't miss tomorrow. My voice cracked. Send me your location. I'm coming, Maya said immediately. 20 minutes later, her headlights appeared. In her car, heat blasting, I couldn't stop shaking.
Emma.
Stop. Maya pulled over. Your car breaking down doesn't make you a failure. Tomorrow you show them who you really are, not who your sister said you were. I wiped my eyes. What if I freeze? Then you look at me. I'll be right there, she said firmly. I nodded. Okay. Besides, I want to see her face when she realizes she uninvited a company director from Christmas, Maya added with a grin. Monday morning, I woke at 5 a.m. from a nightmare where I walked into the boardroom in my Nordstrom uniform. I put on the suit. Charcoal gray. Tom Ford. The fabric felt different. Heavier, smoother, like armor. Maya picked me up at 7. Ready? She asked.
No.
Let's do this anyway, I replied. 42nd floor. My nameplate was already there. Director Emma Clarke. I ran my finger over it. The letters were real.
Engraved. Permanent.
Board members filtered in. Expensive suits. Leather portfolios. The smell of coffee and cologne and money. At 8:55, Derek walked in. Navy suit. Confident smile.
He saw me.
Did a double take. Have we met before? My brother-in-law of 2.5 years. He didn't recognize me. Before I could answer, the door opened.
Camille walked in.
Winter white. Chanel. Hair perfect. That expensive French perfume. I could smell it from across the room. Then her eyes landed on me, sitting at the board table, with my nameplate, in my Tom Ford suit. Her face went white. Her mouth opened. No sound came out. Then her eyes rolled back.
She dropped.
Her purse hit the marble floor first, that sharp crack of expensive leather on stone. Then everything exploded. Lipstick rolling. Phone skittering. Keys clattering across the floor like her life coming apart. Then her knees buckled, and she went down hard. Derek lunged. Caught her. Camille. Camille, he shouted. The room erupted. Someone yelling, call 911. My heart was hammering. My hands shaking under the table. This was real. Robert Chen, the board chair, was on his feet. Does anyone have medical training? Derek was on the floor, cradling Camille's head. Her eyes fluttered open, unfocused. She looked up at Derek, then past him, straight at me. And she made this sound. This broken animal sound. That's. She couldn't get the words out. That's my sister, she whispered. The room went silent. Your sister? Derek turned to me, his face white. You're Emma? Camille's sister Emma? Hi, Derek, I said calmly. I didn't know you worked here, he said, his voice hollow. You never asked. I paused. You handed me your valet ticket at Camille's engagement party. Gave me a $5 tip. His face went from white to gray. Robert cleared his throat. You didn't tell us your sister-in-law was joining the board. I didn't know, Derek said quietly. Camille stumbled to her feet. Made it 3 steps before her legs gave out. She caught herself on a chair. Sat down hard. Let's begin, Robert said. The first 30 minutes of the meeting passed in a blur of numbers and graphs, quarterly reports, portfolio updates, nods of approval, polite murmurs. Camille sat against the wall, staring at me like I was a ghost. Then Robert cleared his throat, shifting the room's attention. Derek, you had a proposal? All eyes turned toward Derek. His confident posture didn't hide the tension in his jaw. Yes, I have a proposal, he said, sliding a stack of glossy papers across the table. He looked rattled.
Kept glancing at me. Yes.
A partnership for 3 luxury residential developments in Cherry Creek. We're seeking $12 million. Projected ROI is 18%. He pulled up slides. Glossy renderings. Growth charts. Board members nodded. Asked questions. Derek answered smoothly, but I could see a vein pulsing in his temple. A bead of sweat running down his face. Then Robert turned to me. Emma, you reviewed this? I did. I confirmed. And he pressed. Everyone looked at me. The fluorescent lights hummed. Camille was frozen, her knuckles white. Derek's face had gone pale. This was the moment. I stood, reached into my bag with trembling hands, pulled out my old Nordstrom employee badge. The one from when I was selling handbags for $9.50 an hour. I placed it on the table, right in front of Derek. I used to wear this, I said quietly, when I was too poor for Christmas dinner. Then I pulled out my new ID, Director Emma Clarke, Altitude Capital Group. I placed it right next to the old badge. Now I wear this. The room was silent. Every person staring at those 2 badges. The before, the after. Camille made this strangled sound. I looked directly at her. You uninvited me because of who I used to be. I'm rejecting you because of who you actually are. I opened my folder. My hands had stopped shaking. Hay Strategic has reported losses for 6 consecutive quarters. Total losses exceed $2.3 million. Murmuring around the table. The luxury developments are financed through high-risk construction loans. Derek personally guaranteed these using joint marital assets. If these fail, and commercial real estate is down 19%, Derek and his wife are personally liable for approximately $4.7 million. Camille made the sound. Small. Broken. But there's more. I clicked to the next slide. 3 months ago, a home equity line of credit was opened for $200,000, using my mother's house as collateral. Emma, that's private, Derek started. The signature on the loan application isn't my mother's signature. I pulled up my phone, connected it to the projector. Want to see them side by side? Don't, Derek's voice cracked. Too late. Two images appeared on the screen. This is my mother's signature. This is the signature on the loan document. Someone gasped. Derek sank into his chair. The signatures aren't even close. The room erupted. It's your wife's handwriting, Derek. She forged it. Robert stood, banged his hand on the table. Order. Camille jumped to her feet. That's a lie. I have the original documents. The loan officer noted the discrepancy, but processed it anyway. I looked at her. You stole our mother's house, Camille, while telling me I wasn't good enough to sit at your table. Her face crumpled. Mascara, starting to run. You said I'd bring down the energy. That my car was too old, my life too small. I paused. But you were drowning. You've known it for months. That's why you stole from our mother. Robert's voice cut through. This is bank fraud. Yes, I said simply. Derek looked like he might collapse. Emma, please. Please what? Please don't tell them she forged Mom's signature. I laughed. You already ruined Christmas when your money gave her permission to treat me like I was worthless. I'm just returning the favor. Dead silence. So here's my recommendation. We decline this proposal. We remove Derek Hayes from the board pending investigation. And we refer the loan fraud to the district attorney's office. All in favor? Robert's voice was ice. Every single hand went up. Unanimous. Derek shot to his feet. This is insane. This will destroy us. You destroyed yourselves, I said calmly. I'm just telling people about it. Mr. Hayes, you're suspended from this board, effective immediately. Derek turned to Camille. His face twisted with rage. This is your fault. You told me she was nobody. A retail worker who couldn't hold down a job. She's a director, Camille. She makes more than I do. Camille flinched. And you forged a signature using MY position? I could go to prison because of you. Derek, I was trying to save us. You were trying to save yourself. You've been lying to me about your sister for years. What else have you lied about? Derek grabbed his briefcase. I need a lawyer. Don't call me. He walked out. Camille stood there, shaking. Mascara running. That white Chanel suit wrinkled now. Then she looked at me. Are you happy now? You've destroyed my entire life. I stood up, walked around the table, stopped right in front of her, close enough to smell her perfume mixing with fierce sweat. No, Camille. I didn't destroy your life. I just stopped pretending you hadn't already destroyed mine. I never. You told me I made you uncomfortable, that I embarrassed you, that I was a charity case. My voice was quiet, steady. You stole from our mother. You forged her signature. And you did all of it while making sure I knew exactly how worthless you thought I was. Tears were streaming down her face. I'm your sister. You stopped being my sister the day Derek's money gave you permission to treat me like nothing. She reached for me. I stepped back. Don't. Robert cleared his throat. Mrs. Hayes, you need legal counsel. We're referring this to the authorities this afternoon. Camille grabbed the chair. Emma, please. Her voice barely a whisper. I have nothing left. Derek's leaving me. Please. I need help. I looked at her. The woman who'd spent years making sure I knew I wasn't good enough. You're right. You have nothing. I picked up my badges. Welcome to the table, Camille. Hope the view's worth it. I walked toward the door. Behind me, I heard her collapse. The sound of her sobbing echoing down that hallway. Sharp, broken sounds that got quieter with every step until they disappeared completely. Maya was waiting by the elevators. Holy shit, she said. Yeah, I replied. You okay? She asked. Ask me tomorrow. That afternoon he drove to Mom's house. My phone had been buzzing all afternoon. She opened the door. Eyes red. Face blotchy. But she wasn't alone. Camille was on the couch. Mascara streaked. Still in that white suit. What is she doing here? I demanded. Mom wrung her hands. She showed up an hour ago. Emma, she's devastated. She forged your signature, Mom. She stole $200,000 using your house. Did she tell you that? Mom's face went pale. What? Camille stood. I was going to tell you. Were you? Before or after you lost the house? I shot back. I was desperate. Derek's business was failing. We were drowning. You could have asked for help. You could have been honest. But instead, you committed fraud. While telling me I wasn't good enough for your Christmas table. Silence. Camille sank back. You want to know the truth? I hated you because you were struggling and didn't hide it. You wore your poverty like you didn't care. And I was pretending every single day. Pretending we had it together. She looked up. I was the one drowning. And I made you invisible, because if you didn't exist, no one could compare us. The room was silent. So you made me nothing instead, I said quietly. Yes. She looked up. And I'm sorry. I know that doesn't fix anything. Mom was crying. Emma, I owe you an apology too. I gave Camille everything when your father died. I told myself you were strong enough to handle it, but the truth is, I was just taking the easy path. Camille demanded attention. You never did. So I gave her everything. I wasn't fine. My voice cracked. I needed you. Both of you. And you made me feel like I didn't matter. You matter, Mom said. You've always mattered. I was just too blind to see it. She walked over.
Took my hands.
I don't know how to fix 20 years of choosing wrong. But I want to try. Please let me try. I looked at her. At Camille. At the wreckage. I need time, I said. Mom nodded. Take all the time you need. Mom called 3 days later. Emma, I need to tell you something. After you left, I told Camille she couldn't stay here. That I couldn't enable what she'd done. She's staying at a motel until her arraignment. Silence. And I've been thinking about what you said. About choosing Camille over you. Her voice cracked. You were right. About all of it. I failed you, Emma. For 20 years. I closed my eyes. I know I can't fix 20 years in one conversation. But please come to Christmas. Just you and me. Let me start trying to be the mother you deserved. On Christmas morning, I drove to Mom's house. In my new car. Company lease. BMW 5 Series. Midnight blue. Mom opened the door and hugged me hard. She smelled like coffee and lavender soap. You got a new car, she said, looking past me to the driveway. Yeah, it's from the company lease, I replied. It's beautiful. You deserve it, she said softly. We made breakfast together. Sat at the kitchen table. The same table where she'd told me Camille was getting Dad's money. Tell me about your job. Really tell me.
So I did.
Everything. The LinkedIn post. The interview. The certifications. Maya. The healthcare deal. The promotion. The car breaking down. She listened. Asked questions. Took notes on a napkin. You're extraordinary. She paused. How did I not see it? You didn't see it because you never looked. You were too busy making sure Camille didn't fall apart. Emma.
No.
I need you to hear this. My voice shook. I spent my entire life trying to be good enough for you. And you never even looked. She took my hand. Her eyes wet. I'm sorry, Emma. For choosing Camille. For giving her everything. For not protecting you. For not seeing you. I needed to hear that. You deserved to hear it 20 years ago. We sat there. Holding hands. The hurt didn't just disappear. But it was something. It was a start. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I picked it up. Read it. Showed it to Mom. Emma, it's Camille. Derek left me. I have nothing.
I'm sorry. Please.
I need help. Mom looked at me. Waiting. Not telling me what to do. I thought about 10 years of being invisible. About table 19. About that phone call. About her forging Mom's signature while calling me an embarrassment. I typed back. You uninvited me because my car embarrassed you. I just paid off the house you stole from Mom. We're even now. Lose my number. I hit send. Then I blocked the number. Mom squeezed my hand. Neither of us said anything. But we both knew some tables aren't worth sitting at. The next morning, Maya texted. Your Civic's fixed. Also coffee Monday? Got ideas for your next deal. I smiled. Typed back. Yeah, let's do it. Because this wasn't just about revenge. It was about building something new. With people who saw me. Who believed in me. And that was worth more than any boardroom takedown.